Hi, I'm Chuck Colson with this week's 2-Minute Warning. The election's come and gone. People have spoken. They've had enough runaway government spending. And now the American people are ready to make tough decisions, tough cuts to make sacrifices. Or are they? I had dinner recently with 3 United States senators and some of their staff. One staffer of a senator I respect enormously asked me this. He said, "Chuck, do you think this country is ready and willing to face cutbacks in Social Security and Medicare?" I couldn't give him an instant answer because the truth is, I just don't know if the American people have it in them to make honest-to-goodness sacrifices. It troubles me to say it, but by and large, the American people have become spoiled and pampered. We expect everything handed to us on a plate. We ought to be able to live the lifestyles we've grown accustomed to, we believe. From our lattes to our SUVs to our credit cards to government-backed mortgages, we've overindulged and the bill has come due. Now make no mistake, this country has no choice but to tighten its belt. It's not an option. The only real question is whether the politicians, Democrats and Republicans, will be honest with us. And the next question is how the electorate will react when the cuts come. Will we embrace sacrifice for the good of our nation, or will the people revolt, much like the angry mobs in Greece and in Paris? You know, that night at dinner, those senators, everyone around the table agreed that the word sacrifice hasn't been used by an American politician since the Second World War, and before that, the Depression. Well, I'm in the unusual position of having lived through both of those experiences. They were severe tests of American character. Fear stalked the country. Vast unemployment, fortunes and livelihoods lost. And then before we knew it, German U-boats were sinking ships right off our shores. Everybody worried that the Japanese would invade the West Coast. What pulled us through? Great men like Roosevelt told us we had nothing to fear but fear itself, and they challenged us to make sacrifices. Self-denial for the good of the country became a virtue. There was rationing and shortages and nightly blackouts. It wasn't fun, but nobody complained. Everybody did their part. Today, I'm not sure we have the character, the steel-braced spines to pull through again. The only way the American people will embrace the sacrifices that are necessary to get our economic house in order will be if somebody shows the way, and that somebody or somebodies has to be the church. As members of the body of Christ, sacrifice is in our very DNA. Jesus, the only begotten Son of God, sacrificed himself on the cross. He told us that we too must pick up our crosses and follow him. That if somebody wants our coat, we ought to give them our tunic as well. That we must walk the extra mile. Look at the church in Acts 4. It was that kind of self-sacrifice, caring for one another, meeting one another's needs that led to the explosive growth of the church, and it took over the Roman world. But if Christians fail to set the example, fail to care for one another, to care for the poor, if we continue to live lavishly and demand our place at the government trough, then I believe our national experiment in ordered democracy will slowly, maybe not so slowly, but surely come to an end. Either we willingly embrace sacrifice as a nation, or it will be imposed upon us by dictatorship. We cannot maintain the current course we are on and survive. I'm Chuck Colson. That's this week's 2-Minute Warning.